Laura is first. Thank you, Laura. Is David behaving himself, Laura? Okay. Good morning, Brenda. I hope all's going well with you, Brenda. Ed Hessick, good morning. We got a couple of people watching, but not much. Not much action. Usually picks up. It's kind of gray, rainy. I was able to go out and I got a ship this morning though. I got the Lee A. Togertha downbound, which turned out I think fairly well. Yeah, you're a good girl. Yes, you are.
Morning, Paul.
Hey, good morning. How you doing?
Not too bad.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
so
good.
I saw your boat this morning.
Did you? What'd you think?
Big.
I wanted to get it before it turned nasty and dark like this. That was
Yeah.
just at sunrise.
Uh-huh. Yeah, there's a fair few people over on Johnny's channel. I think they're starting later and later because sunrise is getting later and later.
Yeah. Well, I don't own this time. Even though I pretty much occupy it every day.
Yeah.
Everybody's got the ability to do what they want to do and how they want to do it.
Yeah, that's it.
Be right
Yeah.
back. Mia's over tearing the couch up. I don't know what she wants. Be right back.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Sure. It's cold today.
Come on. A cookie? Come on. Mia. Mia. Come on. Mia. Come on.
Well, it's gone up to 10. It was only minimum's going to be 3. Still feels cold though. Hey, Dusty.
Oh man. Yeah, how many people we got watching now? Not many.
JDS. Dusty and JDS have turned up.
JDS. The yeah, the weather is kind of been up and down here today, and I think that it's probably going to stay that way for a while.
Uh-huh. Well, it's dry here and it's 10 degrees at the moment.
Yeah, it's 48 degrees here, so that'd be about the same temperature as what you got.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
I was out there flying this morning and I had a light coat on, didn't have any gloves or had a hat on.
Uh-huh.
By the time I got back in the truck, I was a little chilly.
Yeah. 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 It was like 5 degrees this morning,
Yeah.
and our minimum temperature today is 3. But 10, 11 is its maximum. It ain't getting any warmer than that today.
The next downbound ship is going to be the Edwin H. Scott, which is 1,000-footer. It's out about about 8 miles out downbound
Mhm.
channel, and it's doing what's the speed? 8.8 knots.
Uh-huh. Well, the weather forecast says we're having rain today, but we haven't had any rain yet. Then again, it also says it's going to be sunny tomorrow, but it still ain't going to get over 12.
Yeah, Edward, we're supposed to get rain on and off all day today, I think, all the way till, I think that the forecast is until 11 p.m. Glad I got
Tuesday.
out, mowed the lawn yesterday and
Hmm.
got that handled. It didn't need it that bad, but there was areas where it did need it. So
Yeah. Does it always do that?
well, except the bad part is what happened was I got some piglets that live upstairs, and I went around the front of the house and there was a
Mhm.
bunch of crap laying on the ground, and I went by it too close and caught a wet t-shirt and it
Oops.
wound it into my blades. And on the zero turn. And so it's like, now I got to figure out how to get underneath there and clear that out. But it worked. It still works. But I had bits of t-shirt all over the front yard, you know?
Yeah. Hmm.
The so Dusty, what's new with you? Anything? How's your weather?
Volume one, sorry, traffic. Down to 7 and 8, 43 minutes down to Black River. Sir, did you copy the 3 upbound of it? Yes, I did. Roger, good morning.
Yeah, it's kind of light here. But they're all over on Johnny's channel, I think, aren't they?
Yeah.
Let me go see if I can pull up. Yeah, Joe's over there on stream and he's using StreamYard. A little bit of rain on the camera, but the this camera, you can see every once in a while you'll see a spot here and there. Few fishermen out there in the channel. Yeah, my big dilemma is, did I get myself into a bad situation because I own the Neo now? And I've got another Neo coming in. And I've got supposedly extra batteries coming for the Neo today. And the power charger is coming this next week. You know, the where you put it in and charge them. And yet I have another Neo coming with that has all that included with the extra batteries. And it's like, oh, you know what? The Neo was fun to fly. There's no doubt about it. But what am I going to use it for? The Air 2S does everything I want it to do, and that's my go-to drone. And I've got a Autel Nano Plus sitting over there that I haven't flown in 6 months.
Mm.
And I suppose I could always sell one of the Neo, the Neo, the Nanos. Or I could sell the Neo, maybe. Who knows? I don't know.
Well, I would have thought that when you got the other one, you would have cancelled the one that hadn't arrived.
Well, the one that was coming from China, it was already shipped. I couldn't cancel it.
All right.
So when I got this one on Best Buy, next day delivery was just the drone only, and they're out of them. Nobody has them anymore. Didn't use my brain and think, nah, just wait. But I don't live in an area where it's probably conducive to be flying the Neo.
Mm.
Hey Lance, how you doing? Lance said good morning about 5 minutes ago.
Morning, Lance.
I don't know if he's up at his other location or if he's back at home.
Mm.
Boy, the marine traffic is way off. It shows it on the marine traffic map. That ship is about 5-6 miles out. And here it is coming into the river. Oh, you're not going up to the cabin to the end of October. Okay, Lance. Lance is going to gas up the wife's car. Good for you. Kicking back, huh?
Hmm?
Mark's kicking back.
Yep.
Nothing wrong with that.
Tired. Didn't go to bed till nearly 4:30 when Uncle Bill finished.
Wow. Is that what time you got done?
Yeah. Well, our time, yeah. I mean, that's only 11:30 your time. The annoying thing is, like, I still woke up at 8 o'clock. I didn't get out of bed. Not until about 11:30. Still waiting for the district nurse to arrive Sunday, so all the clinics are shut, so they have to come to me on a Sunday.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And they usually here about 10ish, but they're a bit late today. I think they work until 6 o'clock at night. So
Yeah, I'm gonna show everybody the ship I did this morning, right just after sunrise.
uh-huh.
Okay, you ready? Here we go.
Volume's a little bit loud.
Anything problem?
Yeah.
How's that better?
Yeah, that's better.
They like steamship company. That's a classic design one. It has a flat.
I must admit, I thought it looked a bit square at the front.
Well, the newer ships they're building now, they've got a big pilot house on the stern. Self-unloading. Oh, here it is. Okay, so I think it turned out okay. It was dark and I think it for what it was, I think it turned out fairly well.
Yeah.
You can see it's awful hazy out there. That's the Edwin H. Scott. That's a 1,000-footer right there, self unloader. See, that's the difference is it has the pilot house and everything is on the stern, and the rest of it is all bulk where they carry the cargo. Okay, Lance, take care.
All right. See you, Lance.
Well, what do you think, Mark? Should we continue to stay on here or what?
That's totally up to you, Paul.
Well, what do you
I
a
don't
yay?
know.
Are you
I
a
don't-
yay or a nay? Because I don't know if it's going to get any better or not.
It's probably get better, but it's Sunday morning. Don't forget.
Yeah, Sunday morning and
Yeah.
weather's nasty here, and
I mean, obviously it's Sunday afternoon here, but you've got people only just waking up over there. I don't know how long Johnny's going to be on for,
yeah, I don't either.
because I think he only started shortly before you did.
Yeah, yeah, and he's going to stay on at least probably an hour or more.
Possibly, yeah. But then again, there are people that come on here that
Don't go over
aren't
there.
on. Yeah, don't go over there.
TJ saying everybody's probably still sleeping.
Yeah.
Well, as you go across the United States, it gets earlier and earlier. So
Yeah, that's right. I mean, what is it now?
it's 9:30 here on the East
It's
Coast,
done. Yeah, 6:30 for
6:30 in California.
yeah, and Seattle.
Yeah, it was a good day. Listen, we got small for the weather today. It wasn't great on the way down there. The car did that, but maybe something in the Gulf National. It's always special. And just a very happy man. I guess you have a few bit.
I don't know whether Justin will be in or not because he was playing Fortnite last night. I don't know how late they played.
Yeah, he was. I noticed that. He came on about the same time as Bill started. Oh, we got anybody new ones? Other than TJ and Joel. So now the Tigers are out. Are you going to be watching the Lions this afternoon?
Is that on this afternoon?
It says 9:25 our time, so that would be 4 o'clock. 4:25 your time, I suppose.
Okay.
I think. Uh,
Me, I can look over here.
that's Major League fucking Baseball.
Detroit Lions.
Playing Dallas, aren't they? I think.
Detroit Lions scheduled today at 4:25 p.m. Eastern time.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah.
They're away.
Yeah.
They're going to be playing in Dallas.
Yeah. And the Lions are 3-1, and Dallas are 3-2.
That'll be a good game, huh?
Mm.
Drones and Coffee is still going strong.
Yeah, it's on the same time as Atlanta and whoever the hell that is. CAR. CAR? Carolina?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Carolina Panthers, I think.
Yeah. Does look like a panther. Yeah. And then there's two at 9:05. LAC versus Denver. Pittsburgh versus Las Vegas. and they start at 4:05. Then there's a bunch of games at 2:00 and 1:00. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games at 1:00. I think that Eagles are playing Cleveland. And one of the games, the Jaguars versus the Bears, is on now.
Oh, it must be a replay.
No, it's 0-0. They're playing it here in London.
Yeah, that's an old one.
No, it's live now.
Yeah, but I mean it. I don't think it is live.
It is. They're 9 minutes into the first quarter. 1st and 10.
Okay, yeah,
0-0.
Jaguars. Yeah, I thought
Yeah.
you were talking about the Panthers because the Panthers are playing Detroit.
No, the
Jaguars. Okay.
Jaguars and the Bears. Yeah.
What's the score?
0-0. 0-0. They're 1st and 10 with just under 9 minutes to go in the first quarter. So they've only been playing for 5 minutes. 6 minutes. And they're playing at Tottenham Hotspur's football ground. Don't know what that means. What does CHI mean?
CHI? I don't know.
No, I don't either.
Maybe
It
somebody in the
says
panel knows.
it says they've got 3rd and 6, and then it says CHI 23.
I don't know what that means.
But the CHI went. Now it says 8. First and 8. Oh, that must be how far. That must be the line that they're at, because they're now at the 8. They're now on first and 8. So I assume that means first and goal. If they've only got 8 yards to go. Ah, that's it. CHI, Chicago's 8-yard line.
Huh.
So it's the Jaguars that are going looking at a score at first and 8. Stop it, precious. Yeah. Now it's 2nd and 12. So they lost 4 yards on that one.
Are you watching the game too?
No, I'm watching the golf. I'm looking at the NFL app on my phone, and it gives like a rundown of what's going on. But the video that they're showing is showing past games that they've played. Five and a half minutes left in the first quarter. Now 3rd and 12. So if they don't get if they don't get the touchdown this time, it should be an easy field goal from that distance. Yeah, they didn't. 4th and 12. So they'll be going for a field goal now, won't they?
Are they close to a field goal?
Only 12 yards off off the Chicago end.
Hey, what's up, Paul?
Hey, how you doing,
Hi, Joe.
Yeah, Johnny just ended.
All right.
Yeah, he started late.
Yeah, he only started about 5-10 minutes before Paul did.
Yeah, it was everybody ran late today.
Yeah, well, the sun's rising later.
Yeah, that's what it is.
So how are you doing, Joe?
I'm doing better. I'm tired. I didn't wake up till like 7:30 again this morning.
I was gonna say
Mhm.
you sound a little stuffed up.
Yeah, this got to get out of here. It's like I
Yeah,
started feeling better Wednesday, and then I'm out at night every day. Then I come
yeah.
back and I was getting stuffed up more each day.
Jaguars are 3-0 now. Kicked a field goal.
All I know is this is better than I thought it would be. This donut is chocolate covered, glazed, but half of it's got cream filling, half of it's got chocolate filling.
Ah,
Huh.
that sounds
So,
delightful.
It
mm.
was the first one was. This one's going to be. Yeah, look at that. The big donut too.
Where'd you get that at?
Walmart.
Oh, Walmart donuts.
Yeah. Lovely. It's a proper donut from Walmart.
Did anybody that was over on Johnny's channel talk about the Neo at all?
Lon did last night, and he talked just briefly about it today.
Yeah, Nolan's Chicago 23-yard line.
Yeah, Lon was talking about how his he couldn't get his to work indoors because it wouldn't hover. It would go into ATTI mode and just go all over the place. And he turned on all his lights last night, and they did it again with all the lights on. He said he didn't understand it, and John Flying Flynn flew his, or it might have been Mike Wright, flew his all around in the dark, and his worked perfect. So Lon has a consensus that he thinks it's his bottom sensor something bad with it. So he's sending it back to DJI.
Ah,
Yeah.
Because when he told me it wouldn't, like, I'm not bright in here, but I'm not dark. I'm dark in certain areas, and that's what I wanted for just applying here. I can't have it just going all over the place, you know.
Mm.
Mm.
Was he telling that on Johnny's stream?
Right. He told last night on Uncle Bill's he was talking about it.
Yeah, he was talking about it on Uncle Bill's last night. I know because I was there. Yeah.
pretty much confirmed it today.
Yeah, today he thinks it's the sensors that you don't think it's a drone. So he's gonna call DJI and see about getting it replaced. Because that was a point right there that was gonna make me stop buying it.
Yeah, it just wouldn't stay still in his own when he was flying it indoors. It'd slide to one side for some reason. Yeah.
So you're still on the same schedule with the kids and it's get her tomorrow. And
I'll get it tomorrow.
what happened to her plan to go get daycare?
They're still planning. I don't know what they're doing. Well, I know what they're doing. It's always a money issue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's it.
Then I found out yesterday that the boyfriend. Remember, my daughter was blessed with this car she got, and I told her, do not let anybody drive it. Take care of it, because you got blessed and you may not get blessed again. Okay, I can't help you, you know. So the boyfriend, apparently his car is not working. So when she's at home, he's taking her car all the time now. Now they got a complaint the car's not working right. I said, that because he don't care. He's driving it like he don't care.
Yeah,
You know?
because it's not his. Yep.
And he's not going to fix it. I said, I wouldn't let him drive it. Tell him fix his.
Exactly.
He bitched about the car in the first place. He said it was a piece of junk. Okay, it's a piece of junk. Don't drive it.
Yeah, just don't put him on the insurance. Then he can't drive it.
Well, he can drive it, but it would be uninsured.
He's not on the insurance.
Then just get him pulled over and he'll get done for driving without insurance.
They're not like that here. As long as you
The
have an
car's
insurance
insured.
certificate in the vehicle and that you're a licensed driver,
Yeah.
they assume you have permission to drive that.
Yeah.
Well, to be officially insured to drive a vehicle, you've got to be named on the insurance policy over here.
Yeah, no,
You
you
just-
don't. You don't.
You just
here.
need the car on it here.
You're insuring the car, and whoever you let drive the car, you're taking the responsibility that they're a licensed driver.
I mean, yeah, you can let somebody else drive your car so long as they've got their own insurance on their own vehicle. But then it's third party. So it will only pay for somebody you hit. It won't pay for the damage to your car.
Yeah, see, your insurance is completely different than ours.
Yep.
Mm. But then you would sue the person you let drive's insurance to pay for your damages, probably. But yeah.
So, good morning to everyone.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
I hope everyone's well after your little bit of wind over there. Hopefully nobody we know has actually suffered any major losses.
Nah, not Trevor.
The
That's-
that was a heck of a 1-2 punch.
yeah, and it might be number 3 yet. There is another one that they're keeping an eye on that may just been up.
Yeah.
But
Hi, Jody.
it's not nice.
Donald.
We get cyclones here, and they cause so much damage. But to actually get a hurricane, which is our cyclone, and storm surge is the storm surge. Anything the hurricane didn't damage, the storm surge would have got. So it's a real pain in the butt.
Yeah, that and the fact that the hurricane kept dropping tornadoes as well.
Oh, that as well. Didn't Uncle Bill actually have a tornado near him at one stage?
Yeah, real close.
Quite a few. I think there was about. I think Justin said they dropped at least 10 near him.
Well, they were trying to hunt Justin out, but even the hurricane was trying to do that, and he kept changing course trying to find Justin's house.
Yeah.
But as I said, luckily for them, that our friends are all still safe. Because that's it's an event that for people of Florida, I don't think there's much of Florida that's unaffected by the looks of the maps. So if you do get number 3, they could go through and finish Florida off.
Yeah, that's in about another week's time.
Well, that keeps changing because the next one, the only thing that's showing up right now in that area is October 29th now. All the ones that been coming across looks like they're breaking up.
Yeah.
But then October 29th, they got something right over Cuba, and it's a low pressure system, so it's right on the opposite side of Cuba, right under Miami.
Yeah.
And that's the furthest they'll let me go.
Yeah. The problem is hurricanes, they seek hot water or warm water, and you guys have got a lot of that sitting around at the moment. It hasn't the sea surface temperature hasn't dropped off enough.
And we've got absolutely none of that.
That's a shame.
Well, after this last one, it
we'll have
cooled
to
down a
send
little
some to
bit.
the UK. See, the
It
UK
still
is
managed
missing
to
out.
go over us. Yeah. It went. The last one went over the south coast of the UK. But it was just wind and rain by then.
Yeah. Well, that's where I'm lucky. Any remnants of the cyclone we actually see is normally just really torrential rain and rainfall and a little bit of wind. by the time it actually gets here. So luckily we don't get the really strong winds, and we don't get the storm surge problems. And it looks like Justin must have his internet back.
Yeah, he has. He was on yesterday.
Yeah, he was playing Fortnite.
No, he was on Paul's yesterday.
Oh, right. Yeah, well, it showed that he was actually up. He was up playing Fortnite.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
last night.
So obviously his like he's not going to be suffering from Fortnite withdrawal symptoms.
No.
Which is well known, a well known disease that many people do suffer from. If they lose the internet for too long.
Yeah, that was all he lost, internet and cell signal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Said he was going parking outside Costa Coffee to use their internet.
Yeah, it's a good one. You go down to your local coffee shop and they've still got internet.
Yeah.
Obviously, his provider's power went out and meant that his internet went down. But
Yeah.
well, the coffee shop possibly even got that the satellite system. So who knows these days? A lot of people have gone for that. That especially in the country areas. So well, when the power goes out, all they've got to do is supply power to the small little satellite system and or the satellite receiver box, and they're back on with the internet.
Yeah.
So how many more months to go until the shipping might be going along that channel in front of you, Paul?
The shipping channel continues on through like January the 15th or 16th.
Right.
And that's when they officially close the locks. But the actual shipping continues on all winter long as they don't have to go through the locks. In other words, if you wanted to go Chicago, up and over and around and back down into Lake Erie, but you can't get through the Erie Canal or those locks.
Right. Because yes, we've moved into daylight savings time. We've had it for a full week now, and I'm already sick of it.
Yeah.
It's annoying because I now get up in the morning and it's dark outside. That will be different in a few weeks' time, but yeah, it's dark outside when I get up. Yet it's light outside when at 8:30 of the night time. While I understand a lot of people find it good for when they get home of a night after work, they can actually still have some sunlight to do things. But in the morning, it's a bloody pain in the neck. Getting up in the dark.
Yeah. In June, it's around about, well, it can be light till 11 o'clock at night, and it usually gets light at about 4 o'clock in the morning. So we only get about 4 hours of darkness then, 5 hours of darkness.
Yeah. Well, you'd be a good one then to have solar panels.
The way my house is, it actually faces east to west.
Right.
And it obviously, with it having a sloping roof, but only on 3 sides because the 4th side is next door.
Yes.
I've only got roofs pointing east, west, and south, and they're too small. The south facing one would be the one that would take solar panels, but it'd only take about 4.
Yes, I was very, very lucky. My house has a north-south facing roof, which meant they were able to put the all the panels up on that, and kind of it has been a sizable saving. And of course, I've actually got a big Tesla battery on the side wall, which means my excessive solar in the morning actually goes ahead and charges that up. And once that charged up, once the sun goes down at night time, I'm actually coming off the battery, so I pay for very little street electricity.
Yeah. I only use £3 with electricity a day. So, considering the price of solar panels, it would take me about 60 years to actually recover that cost of the panels in savings.
Well, and besides that, you're depending upon another source, which is the sun. And here in Michigan, most of the days are cloudy.
Yeah. In your case, Paul, I'd say because of your higher, because you're closer to the pole.
Yeah.
I'd say yes, it possibly wouldn't pay off, but kind of places like Florida would be ideal, because they
Florida down south, when you're getting closer to the equator, and,
yes,
and your weather is more conducive to having a lot of sunshine.
Yes.
Well, I think Paul the same as me. I'm 52 to 53 degrees north.
Yeah,
well, it also depends upon the weather patterns. You can find a location, but I get a lot of east-west weather patterns. Like right now, there's storms all the way across the country that are headed towards me.
Yeah, well, we can't help the fact that you attract bad weather. When Mother Nature can't find Justin, he reverts to phase to try number 2, go for Paul instead. Well, we all get bad weather. It's just I really can't say.
We don't get bad weather. We just get British weather.
Oh yes. There's a game released called Train Simulator, which is made by the UK, and I went ahead and said to one of the guys who actually made it, I said, "How come most of your scenarios are with it raining and pouring and lightning storms and stuff like that?" And he said, "Well, that's normal weather for us."
Yeah. When it snows, the trains stop because it's the wrong type of snow.
Yeah.
And then in autumn we get leaves on the track. Oh yeah, a leaf. A 200-ton train and a half a gram leaf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that causes wheel slip.
Yeah.
Okay, we have the same problem with they went ahead and spent billions on redoing our tram network in Adelaide, which is about 200 odd k's to my east. If I could actually walk it, it's actually there's water there, so I've got to go up and around. But yeah, they went ahead and did that, and they put all these lovely trees up along it. and every in autumn every year, the leaves fall off the trees and
Yeah.
onto the track, and subsequently, or they're constantly having to go out and actually clean up the leaves because of the fact that the trams can't run because the wheel slip all the time.
Yeah, we have like a road sweeper that runs on the tracks, and that goes out every night and cleans all of the lines.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know whether yours are powered from above or not. Ours are powered from overhead.
Yes, we're powered from overhead.
Yeah, earthed through the track.
But yeah, it doesn't take much to slip up a metal wheel.
Yeah. Oh, we have plenty of trams that when they're going along, they go clunk, clunk, clunk. That's at an emergency stop, and it's got a flat spot.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we had some really smart young kids who actually went and put oil on the track for about 100 meters, and suddenly the trains were actually hitting that and going backwards.
Yeah. I must admit, we don't have many big hills that they have to go up. Only small ones, fortunately.
But it doesn't take much once you actually get that wheel slip for you to lose traction and not go anywhere.
Mind you, we had a Range Rover a couple of days ago decided that it was going to turn right across traffic, and for some unknown reason did not see this like 20-ton bright yellow tram, which then knocked it back onto the footpath.
Yeah, it has a tendency. Those big heavy items have a tendency of knocking smaller items away.
Yeah.
We did have a good one over in Adelaide recently with a train where a guy made the wrong turn at the railway crossing and actually ended up on the railway track.
Oh, we have that quite regular. That people
I
go.
couldn't.
I mean, the tram tracks actually go down the road in a lot of places, but the stations are always set off the road, so the tram turns off the road to get to. So you get loads of cars suddenly driving through the tram station for some reason or other.
Yeah, but yeah, drivers these days, you'd actually think that he would have noticed that the road looks a bit different and
Yeah.
wouldn't have driven down it.
Like a 4-foot concrete wall on either side of it.
Yeah, well,
our trams, the entrance to our trams is like 4 foot off the ground.
Yeah.
So that they use existing railway stations where they're going along existing or old unused railway lines. So they've built all of the stations that are on the roads the same way, so that the platforms are high enough to get in. So there's a 4-foot drop from the platform to the line.
Yes, it does make you wonder how some people got their driver's license.
Chicago Bears.
Yeah.
But well, that happens. I'm sure in the US that they probably have that happen as well. People who try to outrun trains, try to actually drive on their tracks and things like that, and they probably have all that. Yeah, it surprises me at times. And of course, the one that went off and went down the track actually found a train, which the train was only doing 80 kilometers an hour, and by the time he actually saw the car on the line, he dropped the brake. Oh, there was no tomorrow, but still hit the car.
Mm.
It's much like we've actually got a guided
Uh-huh.
busway in Adelaide as well, where they've got little guide wheels on the
Oh,
buses,
yeah, we've got one of them as well. Yeah.
and subsequently the buses coming off the street go onto the guided busway, and then they can shoot along at 110 kilometers an hour into the city. And the amount of people who have actually tried to actually take their vehicle onto the busway, and found that having those little guide wheels are required because it's got very tight tolerances.
On the curbs that they use to, yeah.
Yeah. So how's it going, Don?
Going okay.
Donald,
Hey, Don.
Donald's cooking.
And what are you cooking tonight, Don?
Breakfast.
Oh. Donald is cutting up peppers. Gonna probably start his fermentation today. I don't know if
Right.
you can see that glistening.
Yes.
That's off the ghost pepper. That's capsaicin oil. This is gonna be a hot one.
Uh-huh.
It's breakfast time there, Trevor.
And Captain Joe's very good at actually eating donuts whilst making me feel hungry.
Yeah.
Yes, kind of. Yes, he had to eat that donut in front of me. Now I'm actually and remembering it's 46 minutes past the hour into the new day here. So I don't think there would be anything open that would actually sell me donuts.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's why you buy it early and keep a donut stash.
Especially, see, what is it, Monday morning now? Sunday night, Monday morning for you, isn't it?
Yeah, early hours of Monday morning, yes.
Yeah.
So, we're already trying out the new day before we send it off to the UK and then finally let the US have it.
Yeah, our daylight savings is 2 weeks away.
And then you go back to normal.
We go back to Greenwich Mean Time, yeah.
Yeah. Which I use Greenwich Mean Time a hell of a lot because I do a lot of aviation stuff. So
yeah.
I want to truly know your time zone.
Well,
9:30 in the morning uncorrected for Greenwich Mean Time is actually your midnight. And it looks like Uncle Bill
Hey,
Hey, Bill, how's it
has just
going?
entered the building.
yeah, radio amateurs use Greenwich Mean Times for the logbooks too.
Yeah.
You heading for your dad's house there, Bill?
at the moment I'm in my driveway, but yeah.
I
I'm
know
going.
usually Sunday you go up to see your dad.
Well, every other, pretty much.
Did he escape storm, or are you going there to help him clear up?
Well, he didn't escape it. They were right in the center of it, actually. You know, when I came across the state, came across south of Orlando, and that's where he lives. But, he's fine. House is fine. We'll see what's left. I told him not to, because he kills himself. He goes and picking all that stuff. Unfortunately, Helene knocked a lot of the stuff that's already been knocked down. So I don't know how much more got knocked down. I mean, he obviously got a lot more wind this time. You know. So we'll see. We'll see. I told him, I said, you know, there's plenty of guys that are walking around that neighborhood
they'll pick up your yard for 25, 40, 50 bucks, you know.
Mm.
Shouldn't be 84 years old outside having a stroke in Florida heat, doing this stuff, you know. And like the last time, I told him I was going to come up instead of waiting for me. He went and said he nearly passed out there. I said, knock it off, you dumbass.
Yeah.
Now today, big plan. He had this cheap ass home light weed whacker. He wants the little area around by the shed, his shed in the back that his yard guy doesn't get to because he doesn't cut back that far. He's got a pretty good sized yard, by the way. It's an older property. It's not a normal cookie cutter sized yard like the neighborhood has. This is, I don't know, like it's like 3.38 acres or 0.4 acres or so. I don't know. It's a little bigger. And he's got like this green area that he's kind of cut down, but it's not really grass. So that grows when he wants to just trim around the shed and knock some stuff down. I should just buy him an electric, but he's got this old home light that's been sitting in his garage for years. So of course the fuel lines are destroyed because he used regular gas with ethanol in it. Because I don't do that. My small motors all get Rec 90. All get the non-ethanol gas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I empty it when I'm done with it. You know, I empty it and I run the carburetor dry. Even, either way, no matter what gas I use, I do that. They just makes them last longer. Well, he's normally pretty good about stuff like that, but he must have left fuel in this thing because it was sludge in the fuel tank. I didn't even know there was a fuel filter in there. It was underneath black sludge in the far corner, which is the gas, the oil mixture, which I'm starting to think he might have had a little too heavy. He called me up originally. He's like, what's this, gas, oil, gas, water? What's this oil mix? What are you talking about, oil mix? But he's making a salad.
Two stroke. Yeah.
And finally he said, what? Because I didn't know you even had a two-stroke motor in possession, He's like, you talking about like a trimmer or a chainsaw? Yeah. I said 50 to 1. Because he goes, what is it, 50-50? No. 50-50. Holy shnikes. No,
Yes.
Dad.
That
doesn't seem like enough. I said, no, Dad, it's just a little bit to lubricate the motor. It's 50 to 1, 2.6 ounces per gallon. I know it off the top of my head because I have more than one small engine that I.
Yeah. You just fill the top, then put a bottle cap full of oil in it.
I got a 2-stroke boat and I got a 2-stroke chainsaw and a 2-stroke weed whacker. So I keep some fuel around all the time for that, and I mix it. So anyway,
all I have is a 2-stroke orgasm.
You know what? You're a lucky man.
Strokes. Yeah.
Excellent effort, 2 strokes. That's awesome. Get right to sleep. But yeah. So anyway, long story short, we ended up running to the hardware store to replace the fuel lines because you can actually pinch through them with your fingernail. Because he was using ethanol, gas with ethanol. He didn't get E85, but he still got 10% ethanol gas, and it's terrible for it. I don't know if the carb's any good, because I doubt he ran the fuel out of it. So we're going to find out. I replaced the lines and cleaning the gunk out of it with carburetor clean out of a little tank, and that's when the rusty fuel filter popped out. But you know what? I'm going to buy a kit. Never mind. I ordered a kit with the fuel filter and the line. I mean, I didn't really need the lines anymore, but that's fine. It's very cheap, $3, whatever. And but for 20, but I needed a bulb. There's another thing I did. I had to pull that carb cleaner. I said, well, let's run some of that through the carburetor. So I pumped the bulb, get it up. And the bulb just basically shattered underneath my thumb.
Yeah.
The primer bulb. Yes.
Yeah.
Like that. Let's get a kit. So that came, and what's kind of cool is this little kit that I have here. Yeah, you're in a hurry. Go ahead, jackass. This little kit for $19.90 whatever comes with a carburetor. $20. No, if I can't get it to run, I'll put the carburetor on it. There you go. I'm not gonna do it unless it doesn't run. But anyway, for $20,
Yeah,
I got
that's
the filter, I got different size bulbs, I get the lines, a gasket or two, and the carburetor for $20.
saves that. Change the diaphragm if that's dried out as well.
I'm sorry, what? Let me turn you up a little. What's that?
I said it saves having to change the diaphragm if that's dried out.
Yeah, it probably is messed. It's probably screwed, but it's a cheap home light. It's probably the cheapest one they sold at the Home Depot or whatever. I mean, still, it's $150. I don't care. I really was just tempted just to drive over, but everybody's out of the cheap ones now. After the storms came through, I was just going to get him a cheap battery powered one.
Yeah.
For the amount he's going to do, because the guy that does his yard does the weed whacking, the majority of it. It's just this little back section, and it's just when he gets a bee in his bonnet or a burr up his ass or whatever you want. I think I'm going to weed whack today. Which might happen once or twice a month, maybe. I think I should just get him a battery one and be done with it. It'd be a lot easier for him and lighter, and they're fine. For the amount of use it's going to get. He's not going to do the neighbors' yards. But I don't know. I like little projects. We'll see if we get this thing running. He's funny though. Well, he's not quite 84 actually. He'll be 84 in December. But he's still. I don't mind spending $130 on a cheap. Yeah, they're real. You can get them for $100. They're all out of stock. People are cleaning up. I guess I don't know why they think they need a weed whacker, but the stores are out of them. Like the real cheap ones. But I don't know. I could probably get one for $150. I mean, what he spends, every time we go, he buys me lunch, and it gets expensive. So does gas for a 220-mile trip. But today I'm taking the turnpikes. I don't feel like messing around. So that's another about $16 on the cost of my trip. But whatever. What is that noise?
So you have a toll road you got to use, Bill?
I don't have to, but I'm going to.
But that's what I mean. Because here in Michigan, all the freeways are free. There is no tolls.
I guess that's why they call them freeways.
Yep.
I mean, now if only three ways were free, whatever. Let me see. I got 3/4 of a tank. I don't feel like stopping. See what the gas fuel looks like up there.
Just out of interest, why do they call it a turnpike?
Turnpike?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. You go through I don't know. The turnpikes generally cost money. Maybe there was a turnstile or something. You had to stop at to pay your money.
Yeah. Possibly.
Yeah, that can happen.
I don't know. Google it. I mean, they don't have. It's too slow for them to have the barriers to go up.
We Google it when we have Bill to answer. Answer it, Bill.
Maybe once upon a time they had a barrier that came down until you paid your toll. I don't know. Now they just have cameras and they chase after you.
We haven't got very many toll roads in the UK, but I think they still use barriers.
500 one. Where is my phone?
Well, we got turnpikes and we got parkways. They're also toll. But I don't have to. I could go up 95 to go. But turnpike's always moving. People that are willing to pay to go, less problems usually on turnpike. 95 sometimes can be, I don't know, so can a turnpike, never mind. Yeah, the more expensive it gets, it seems like the drivers are better. You're getting people that are. actually care about where they're going. But yeah, the turnpike goes more to the west, you know, and up, and it's a little more direct. It's like 4 miles I saved. I mean, but that's not why. You save about 15 minutes in time. You know, just the way it works out. Because I got to drive to the other side of town, and then I don't know, something like that. 10 to 15 minutes. I have to switch roads. Once I get on this, I'll be getting off basically in on 192 in Kissimmee. You know, so
Mhm.
or St. Cloud. So versus the other one, you're on 95 for I don't know, 70 miles, 60 something miles. Once I get on it, and then you're on 192. I end up with more bugs on my vehicle that way. Because when you go up yeah, you do. Because when you go up 195, I mean, you go up I-95 and you pick up 192 in Melbourne, that first stretch there's a lot of like wetland, a lot of like swampy kind of wetlandish. You don't really see it, but it's along that route 192, and you're on 192 for 40 minutes. So especially this time of year with the love bugs, you end up with a lot more on your. I mean, you get some this way, but you just get a lot more going.
Mhm.
There is that. I don't know what you're taking. It's kind of stupid, really, to spend nearly $16 to save 15 minutes. My time's not worth that much.
Mm.
Well, here's the turnpike. A turnpike is originally a barrier to stop passage until a toll is paid. Started in 1670s.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it had a barrier.
You're spot.
All right. I guessed that one right.
Yep.
Yeah.
But what's a parkway? They got a definition for that? That's the kind where you got to keep changing your car. You basically throw it in they're cheaper, typically, and you throw it in the basket as you're driving through. I mean, you don't have to. You can have Sun Pass, they call it. But now that I got the Sun Pass here, because it's not in the window because they don't even really use it. They use cameras. They upgraded the turnpike, and they just go by your license plate. They pick up your license plate and charge you that way.
So you have to register
Yeah.
for that, and it automatically.
Yeah. Right. And normally you'd have this thing in your glass, and when you drive through, this has got some kind of not just paper. There's some kind of metallic. I don't know. There's a chip in it, and it would get picked up by the sensors. They don't have those sensors anymore. But I wonder. I didn't even think about that. I wonder if the Parkway still uses that. You should probably put it back up the freaking window. I mean, I still rarely go on those, if ever. Got a few of them up by Orlando. Why are we only going 60 miles an hour? Hurricane was 2 days ago, 3 days. What's going on? Are we tired? Okay, I'm sorry. Let me fix my question. Why are we going 57 miles?
And what's the speed limit then?
70.
All right.
All right, that's fine, guys. Hanging out behind someone.
You had
Somebody's towing a car with an expedition.
A lot of peppers.
you had a speed limit of 55 for a long time after the petrol shortage, didn't you?
But, you know, they say I can't drive 55.
Yeah. Well, 56 miles an hour is supposed to be the most economical and works at.
A parkway in the United States is a landscaped thoroughfare. The term is particularly used for a roadway in a park or connecting to a park from which trucks and other heavy vehicles are excluded. Over the years, many different types of roads have been labeled parkways. The term may be used to describe city streets as narrow as 2 lanes with a landscaped medium, wide landscaped setbacks, or both. The term also has been applied to scenic highways or in a limited access roads, generally many parkways originally intended for scenic recreational driving while evolving into major urban commuter routes.
Okay, so no major vehicles on it, or all right. Interesting.
Or
It doesn't say anything.
It could be a
Doesn't say
scenic
anything.
roadway that has a divider with an island with, whatever.
But they don't say anything about toll, right?
No.
Because like for example, in New Jersey, they got the Garden State Parkway, it's called, and that runs north to south along the eastern part of the state, and that's toll. Every so many miles, you got to throw some money in that thing. That's called. So I guess being a parkway had nothing to do with the fact that it was a toll road.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They call it Garden State Parkway, and it's probably labeled, if you look it up, a toll road.
Toll road, yeah. Well, they got some smaller toll road highway. Well, actually, not that small. Like the one that comes right by the airport, Orlando. 440 something, 420 something. Yeah. I've been on that several times. But you can avoid that, but then everybody wants to be cheap, and then they clog the traffic. It's actually worth paying the money to be on the better moving road. But that's that. I should be cutting the grass today, but I was like, oh, I'll get up really early and go there, and come back early and cut the grass. So of course I didn't do that.
The grass is still too wet to cut.
I don't know. I mean, that second half of the hurricane was fairly dry. We were on the east side of it. It was all wind. It was almost no rain at all. I was very little.
Any wind damage?
Not my property. No. Not at all. In fact, not even in my neighborhood. My local.
South Point St. Lucie got the tornado that took out the police station or something.
Yeah, the sheriff's station. Yep. All that. Well, tornadoes landed to the south of me in Martin County and the Palm Beaches, and north of me, and it was Port St. Lucie, but it's so north of me. It's actually, they were saying Port St. Lucie County. Port St. Lucie, it wasn't really. It was St. Lucie County. It was in Fort Pierce. They were kind of misreporting that. That one that came down in Spanish Lakes Country Club 55 plus community, whatever. That's a section called Lakewood Park in Fort Pierce. It's at the very top of St. Lucie County. A 60-second drive, probably, maybe 2-minute drive north, and you're in Indian River County, which is Vero Beach. So it was Vero Beach got whacked with a bunch of tornadoes. We got it there, and we did get one. Actually, I'm sorry, we did get a couple in the western part of Port St. Lucie, over by 95. There's an exit called Becker Road off by 95, and they had one go through there, but it didn't cause. I don't think that one caused any property damage. I know it flipped over a truck and a couple of cars on the highway. Most of the property damage, like I said, was done up in Fort Pierce, Vero Beach, and then to the south, Martin County. They were actually, which is Stewart, where I work. They had 100 homes damaged. They're still not sure how many tornadoes touched out. So we had set a record for the most. It was 120. Florida had 129 tornado warnings that day, which is a new record for anybody. They were just popping up all over the place. And seven people died in that 55 plus. Pretty bad. But my neighborhood, nope. Nothing. It was nothing. It's a windy night. It was annoying. It was annoying. I lost my power. And that was only because one of the neighbor's trees took a power line out. Well, took it down. It didn't even actually break. I think it just touched the ground or whatever it did. It caused the system to recognize it as a short that just shut our neighborhood off, basically. I never even saw any trucks, to tell you the truth. They just turned it back on and we were good to go. So technically I was only out of power for, I don't know, from like 4:20 in the morning until midnight the following, until midnight. I didn't know it, so I was asleep. I just got done going out there and filling the 8 gallons of freaking gas in the dinner. I mean, I topped it off, put maybe about 5 or 6 months. So I wanted to go, I don't know why I felt like I needed that much, but I wanted to put as little as possible in the morning before I went to work. And the power was back on like an hour later. So it ran, I woke up at 5 something in the morning because it was time to pee, like usually. And I checked, it said, oh, it's on. And I went outside. My generator was the only one that was running. Because, you could hear in the neighborhood, there's one over there, there's one over there, there's one. Like, oh, I'm the only idiot that's still running this gas. So I went back there and shut it off, powered up at about 6 a.m. We've been good ever since. But yeah, long story short, nothing that's affecting me. No.
Hey, Pepper's getting to you?
Oh, is that what it is?
Is that what I'm wondering?
No, I just thought I had a tickle in the back.
Yeah. I was coughing. I'm making pepper gas and
Oh, that could have been it.
destroying the family. Is Mama giving you cinnamon again today?
No, I don't get it. Give her some yogurt.
That baby's eating girl poop and yogurt.
Yeah.
Activia.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that. He's pulling out. That's okay. Don't wait till there's no vehicles coming up on you, you dumbass. So, fuck, he just pulled out right in front of, 4 or 5 vehicles that were coming up on him.
So
None of you saw.
hear what I
Huh?
just saw 2 days ago? A Range Rover decided that it was safe to pull out in front of a tram. He was wrong.
Yeah, well, that was a truck. So, flatbed. He wasn't concerned, I guess, about us running into his ass.
East Coast says, Bill, you thought that there were roads that were washed out along that tollway.
Oh, troopers are out in force. That's the second one. So, huh?
East Coast says he thought, he says, here's his comment. I thought there were roads washed out up there on the tollway.
No, not to my knowledge. Down here?
Rod
No.
was saying there's a lot of the roads around Daytona that were flooded.
Yeah, that's 2 hours north of me. 2.5 hours, 3 hours north.
Yeah, and I also think that maybe when the tollway extends up into to the Carolinas, I would imagine there's roads up there that are just trashed.
No, we got a lot of the water rain before the storm landed, but anything south of the path, all the dry air was pushed up. And if you look at the rain patterns from the it was all north. My dad got a lot of water, and but the south of the storm was pretty dry. But yeah, Sarasota, I know that, and where the Bradenton, the areas where it landed, yeah, they got plenty of rain, plenty of water, and flooding.
Whereabouts is that older people's community that Bill, the drone reviewer, lives at?
Well, he lives up near Tampa.
Yeah. So is he likely to have been hit?
These guys are all West Coast that had all those problems. I'm on the East Coast. I'm on the Atlantic Ocean side. They're on the Caribbean, the Gulf of Mexico side, and it came across the state to get to me.
Right.
Nah, I mean the highest winds the highest steady winds I think I was seeing 68. Some gusts that went above that, went up to like hurricane level, but they were just gusts. Nothing bad.
Yeah,
the homes. There's a lot of codes. I'm sorry, what?
It probably got to a category 1 by the time it actually passed, got over to your side of the your side of the coast, because it crossed as a 3, and it wasn't far off the coast that it was actually recorded as a 1. So, I think you're quite lucky that you didn't have a 3 or greater at your place, because that's the type of winds that start doing the really bad damage.
Well, it dropped down to a 1. A 1 is 74 to 99, and it dropped down to a 1, like a third of or maybe a halfway across the state. It was when it landed, it was around 125, which is a 3. A 4 is up to 129 is 3, and above that is a 4. But when it landed, it was a 3. So those guys, they got some damage. But which is funny about the state, because there's all kinds of codes when you build a home here. Garage door needs to be rated for a 5. For 100, well, at least 150. I mean, I have a shed in the back that's rated for 180. Your doors, your windows, whatever. There's all kinds of codes and ratings. You have to have special connectors to keep your roof from blowing off. Whatever. There's all kinds of codes for this stuff, right? So they build their homes that way, but then they allow manufactured home villages. So I don't understand that.
Yeah. Yes, I've seen a lot of it. Like we had a good one go through Western Australia a couple of years back, which some guys got killed, and it wasn't until I actually found out what type of residence it was. It was
driving or
they'd like these shipping container type homes, and what had actually happened is it wasn't affixed to the ground. So obviously, the wind came along, picked it up, and took it for a ride.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's one of those things. If they go ahead and enforce the building code appropriately, 98% of the damage can be mitigated. But the only thing you can't mitigate is the storm surge afterwards. That right. You're gonna have to find a way to actually do something just off the coast to take the energy out of the waves.
I mean, the thing is, those guys weren't attached, but there is regulations here. Those manufactured, whatever, mobile home villages, manufactured home villages, those homes are attached to the ground. There's different types of, they're not foundations, but like my shed, for example, it's got like giant corkscrew things that go down into the ground X amount of feet, and then they're rated for whatever. Well, they got they got stuff like that holding them down, but so instead of it moving, it just rips to shreds.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what happened to those people, unfortunately. You know, but a typical house, even a stick built, which mine is, I'm a frame house. I've got, I mean, it's a stucco exterior, which adds a lot of the weight and strength to the house. Is it the board and the stucco, the concrete? But even that, you know, even a category 2 or even a 3 is not going to blow my house off. You know, it's not going to cause. The thing that causes the damage is debris. You know, branches,
Yes.
stuff like that. You know, cows.
Yeah.
Not
yeah,
a tornado
flying
without a
cows.
cow.
Oh yeah, you got to have a cow. They want them and sheep are one of the first things to get picked up.
Now, a tornado. We actually had a what is it, a class 3 tornado come down. That's pretty impressive for Florida. We don't usually get that. Yeah, that came down west of West Palm, down in and it was they said it was 600 yards across and went 21 miles. What was the name of the town? I don't know. It's like it's maybe 20 miles west of center of West Palm, but then went northeast, and pretty sure it hit. I don't know. Some people died though. That was pretty bad. That messed up a lot of stuff. That's funny. Usually, most of the tornadoes landed in areas where there was no construction. No, it's very nice of them to do that. Appreciate it. Ripping up
Yeah.
farmland, you know, ranches. Couple of ranches got whacked. Couple of animal shelters got whacked, so they're looking for volunteers to take the animals.
Yeah, one
Now,
of
people
one of
make
the
it
big
sound
pro-
like it happens in Florida all the friggin' time. You know, we've had 2 storms this year. Too many, of course. But like last year, we had, well, I think 1. You know, they're not ripping. I mean, you live in Florida. They don't rip through here every day. And my town hasn't had it. They've had like 1 serious storm, and or now 2, I guess, in the last 60 years.
It's near enough to every single year. You guys at least have one major one hit Florida, and of course that makes everyone think that it's an event that happens all the time.
Yeah, no, it makes a lot of news, which as well it should, you know. But you know, it's also a pretty long, pretty big state. It's not affecting everybody in the state. If you didn't watch the news and you lived in certain parts of the state, you would never even know there were any hurricanes. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those things. Every year we get to hear about new hurricane that actually hit Florida. It's always Florida. And it makes everyone think, well, but don't build in Florida because you'll have hurricanes all the time.
Yeah, really don't.
But-
Actually, Louisiana was the hurricane's pitch for a while there. They just kept missing us and hitting Louisiana instead. Then Texas. Now we got a little come up in Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they'll talk about it and say, oh, it's been a busy season. That's our 15th tropical depression and our 7th tropical storm and our, you know, whatever, 6th hurricane. And yeah, and most of them were out in the ocean, you know. And that doesn't mean they landed. But that's all right. I just honestly I don't know that I'd ever consider living on the West Coast, because really they get hit the most. They really do. I mean, that's my experience in Florida. The West Coast gets whaled and drowned.
Yeah, I think the best thing that the West Coast could actually do is possibly look at some type of storm surge protection to actually make sure that storm surge is an issue, and then actually work on the building code and literally make the homes so that they are still standing.
Oh, they do that. They already do that. But I mean, if you get a storm surge of 15 feet or 20 feet, I mean, how high?
Yeah, but
I mean, you know, how high are you going to put the barriers? You know, then you don't have a coast. You know.
it's not so much putting barriers. You can actually put in some stuff out at on the seabed, and it takes all the energy out of the waves, so therefore it drops the wave height significantly. It's one of the Middle Eastern countries has actually got it. They trying to think of the place where they actually built that group of islands that all look like look like countries of the world. They actually put these little concrete things out about 200 to 300 meters off the coast, and they're hidden. You can still use the waterways, no problems. Takes all the energy out of the waves, so literally nothing comes ashore. Because once you take the energy out, yeah, you don't get the big surges and stuff like that.
This week, early today.
And is that a Justin that's arrived?
Yes.
Yeah.
Good to hear
Okay.
you're still alive, my friend. Like, I don't know what Laura would do without you. Do you need somebody to play Fortnite against that she could beat? Whoops. No. But at least you only lost the internet. That
Yeah, it was just the internet and cell service. That was it.
your house is all fine?
Yeah. There's just a lot of branches on the ground. That was it.
Ah, well, just think of all the firewood you've got.
Do what?
All the firewood, you can trim it all up and you've got plenty of firewood. Don't care whose tree it came from. If it's in your yard.
I don't really need firewood in Florida. If I had like a bonfire, if I had like a burn pit or something, that'd be one thing, but
yeah,
I don't have a fire pit, so.
But no.
Yeah, Justin, we're all happy you survived the storm. Blah 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 blah.
Just collect it up and put it out by the front, and they take it away. So.
Yeah, he's done that.
Hey, Justin, did you hear what Donald said?
Yeah, I heard what he said.
Yeah, we were all really worried about you.
You can detect his emotion in his voice.
I can hear it.
Donald, what did you say you're cooking?
I was setting up my fermentation jar for hot sauce.
Oh, okay.
See, look how pretty. It even has a bonnet.
Oh.
That makes it official. Brenda says good morning to you, Justin. Yeah, Justin, do the kids have school tomorrow or are they off for Columbus Day?
No, they said that they might be closed Monday and Tuesday still because of stuff they're doing at the schools from the hurricane. So I don't
Okay,
know
the hurricane. Okay.
They might still be using them as shelters. I don't know.
Because, they're expecting big protests, about tomorrow.
Or what?
Being
Columbus Day.
Oh,
Jackass.
they ain't gonna have that down here. That'll be up in like New York and California, all that bullshit areas.
Bullshit areas.
I mean, that's what they've turned into.
Yeah, I know.
Mm.
Yeah, there's a lot of things in the world to worry about. One of them, and it should not be Columbus Day.
Hmm.
So we're so ashamed that the year that he reintroduced this continent, and I say reintroduced because we were here before that, to the Europeans, and it's all his fault. Everything that happened afterwards, I guess. Whatever. The one holiday to give to an Italian. God damn it.
Donald's got a baby.
Yep, I've hereby declared no more public holidays.
Martin County kids are they're going to school on Columbus Day. They don't have it off.
That suits
Ah.
me. I don't need public holidays. I got 365 days a year off.
I'm sorry, I'm going to have to cancel all of those.
I'm retired.
Oh, okay. Don't pull this retirement crap on me.
Now, funny, that school district will take days off for any excuse. Oh, I mean, one of them was just day off. I have the calendar because so we know when the kids are going to fill the place up. And one of them was day off. No reason, just day off. In the middle of the week. But they don't take Columbus Day off. Don't tell me that's not political. It's pretty funny.
Oh, they always refer to it as teacher training day here.
Yes, exactly the same here too.
Yeah.
Donald's feeding the baby.
Training them how to have a drink on the
Donald,
day.
if you took your shirt sleeve and put it over top of the bottle, it looked like you were breastfeeding them. You're on mute, Donald.
I'm just saying, Paul, you have some strange kinks if that's what you want to see. He said if I tucked my shirt over the bottle, it looked like I was breastfeeding. I don't know. My wife wrinkled her nose. Do you think you're a perv too?
Donald, are all the kids in school now?
Next week. Or this, well, yeah. They start tomorrow? Yeah. Tuesday. They start Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Yeah, school. Yeah, there's no school tomorrow. For whatever reason.
Columbus Day.
And then they get
It's a federal highway holiday still. So
Yeah.
banks aren't
Banks
open.
aren't open either.
and then it's
Okay.
Veterans Day in a couple of weeks, isn't it?
Yep.
Worry about it. In about 10 years, they'll be outlawing. They'll be protesting Thanksgiving too, for the wars that went on between the Pilgrims and the Indians later on.
Yep.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That'll
We
be
can't have
happening.
Thanksgiving. Yeah,
No.
you gotta
Giving-
have to cancel that one too.
Giving thanks for stealing the indigenous people's lands
Well,
and murdering them with their advanced weapons.
well, Columbus Day is Indigenous Peoples Day, and Thanksgiving is Indigenous Peoples Day 2 Electric Boogaloo.
I find it the day of they can get the fuck over it. It was over 200 years ago.
So, do you celebrate the Boston Tea Party as well?
No.
Oh, we celebrate that every day.
Yeah.
No, you know what? They say some of them dressed up as Indians. So we're ashamed of that because we did a little cultural appropriation there to go to tea into the. So we can't celebrate that either.
Oh, even though when the Redskins got rid of the mascot, their biggest outpouring was from the native community about why the hell they were getting rid of the mascot. They found it more offensive getting rid of it because it was a bunch. Yeah, because it was a bunch of fucking white liberals with purple hair and glasses that were whining about it.
Justin, it's just because they've been raised in the society to teach them to be racist against their own skin, and therefore they didn't understand the issue as well.
Well, they like to erase history.
I don't understand what is so insulting about honoring them by naming a multi-billion-dollar sporting organization after them. I don't get why it's insulting. I don't see the Irish getting. I don't see the Irish getting all pissed off because Notre Dame has a leprechaun with his fist out like this, fighting Irish. We're upset about that too. No fighting Irish.
No, one of my friends.
Because you give a couple of drinks and then a fight breaks out.
Yeah, does the mascot have a beer in his hand?
Most of the fans do.
Yeah, but the mascot doesn't have a beer in his hand, so therefore it's misinformation.
Is the mascot actually Bob Dempsey dressed up?
Go ahead, Justin. What were you going to say?
No, I was going to say my best friend Willie I grew up with, his dad was white and his mom was 100% Indian. And they were her family was from Oklahoma. They were the biggest fucking Redskins fans that you've ever seen in your life.
If you go to sleep, I'll take
when
you
I
down.
went with my friends to Oklahoma one summer with him, and I met all his family on the reservation out there. They were the biggest Redskins fans. They had Redskins shit everywhere.
Morning, Dre.
I'm thinking she might go back again, maybe.
Well, the funny part of it is Detroit got knocked out of the playoffs by Cleveland, and what they call now the Cleveland.
Donald, I take it you can't see the chat, but
when you looked in the stands, 90% of them all had Cleveland Indians jerseys on, not the new name.
Yeah, because people think it's stupid.
I just saw something interesting. You can't call them Indians because it was a route to India, and they're not really Indian in this that. That's not why they called them Indians when they came here. At the time, India wasn't called India. It's called Hindustan. There was no India back then. And the term India had to do with something having to. I can't remember it exactly. I have to look it up. But it was people of God or God's people or something like that. It was not an insult. They were called the local people were called Indians because they were. I don't know. It wasn't insulting anyway. It had nothing to do with India. By the way, just so you know that. So, somebody looked that up. I just saw. I think it was George Carlin. Was crapping on that they called the locals Indians, but it had nothing to do with India. There was no India when he landed here.
Right. It was Indios. Something Indios.
Something Indios, yeah, but it wasn't insulting. It was complimentary. I forget. It had something to do with people of God or
Dios having to do with God in Italian.
Having to do with God, right?
Well, in Latin.
Indios.
Yeah.
In Latin,
that's right.
Yeah.
Like I said, cool cat.
Twist shit for their own self-aggrandizing political bullshit.
But we all learned that in grade school that he thought they were he had made it to India so they could call them Indians. We all learned that story. and that story is
Bullshit.
Like I
Yeah,
said,
no, he was.
lots of our history stories are bullshit.
Cool Cat, it was a bunch of white chicks sitting around, you know, those nice liberal ones with pink hair
If you're
and
not, would you
bright
just have
colored
this?
glasses sitting around bitching about systemic racism and tweeting how capitalism sucks while they're sucking on their Starbucks and tweeting on their iPhone.
Yeah, living at their parents' house while their parents are busting their balls to pay for their ass. You know, they're tired of it. Oh, capitalism's bad. Yeah. Got an idea. There's a lot of countries that don't believe in it. You should go there.
On this episode of Old Farts Bitching,
Get off my lawn.
It's like we had a protest against a lithium mine some time back, and they're all on their cell phones, etc. And I'm thinking to myself, yes, without the
Use
lithium that came
lithium
out of the
batteries.
ground, they wouldn't have any batteries, so they wouldn't be able to use the phone.
Yeah.
That people
Ah.
bitch about capitalism, but yet they're using everything possible means of it to be able to live. Like, great, you have a great argument if you're not on a phone or a computer and you're living out in the woods and you're making your own clothes, and then I'll listen to your argument.
mm,
No, I wouldn't listen to the argument anyway.
Well, that's the one thing they always get asked is, well, why are you using an iPhone? And then they
Right.
have no answer for it.
Well, we
Or
have
they'll
no
be like,
choice.
why? Yeah. That's about the best answer you'll get out of them is, oh, well, we're only using what we have given to us.
you, just because you are within a system does not mean you support the system.
No, but when you're using all the comforts of that system and then bitching about it, it kind of makes you look like a hypocrite.
Well,
Yeah,
what are you supposed to use? Are
Because you have
support-
total, you have the means to go out and live in the woods in a fucking tent and not use any modern stuff. And then you can bitch all day long about green and all
no.
the.
Oh no, they can't use a tent because a tent has been made by the modern stuff.
Yeah.
You cut down
You have-
trees and make it. Oh, you'd have
Well,
to cut
you
down
can
trees.
go out
Oh,
in the
you
woods and live naked.
Oh,
I don't give a
can't
shit.
do
There's a
that
way
either.
of doing it.
Yeah, they can't cut trees down. They what's it?
yeah,
Environmental.
can't.
It's the same when the protesters were bitching and moaning, defund the police, and the minute they got hit in the face with a brick from the other side, then they wanted to yell for the police to come help them.
Yeah, they have to walk everywhere because you can't use fossil fuels, so you can't get on a bus or a train or a tram
They have
and the push bikes are made by industrial things, so they can't use them. And all the clothes that they're wearing.
Yeah, I think that'd be somewhat stuffed if they were to literally chuck all that away.
And
I think
the glasses that they need to see with.
yes, the glasses.
Okay. What about why do you have to reject everything, even if it's useful, just because you disagree with how it was obtained or how it was created?
Not
The
to
Nazis did a lot of research on hypothermia and how long you could survive and what would help in the North Atlantic. But we didn't mind using that information, even though it came from Nazis. Should we just reject all that scientific information?
Okay, Mr. Devil's Advocate. Appreciate your input.
It's what I do.
Yeah, it's like using the hair dye that they use to create the pink and purple hair.
Yeah. Yeah, we actually had them stop oil drilling off the coast because they're doing some test wells to find the best spot to drill, because they know that there's oil out there in large quantities, and they got it all banned and stopped. Yet it's a fuel so high.
Mm.
So yeah, it's a pain in the neck. So how many more miles have you got to go, Bill?
Quite a bit. Let me see what's this mile marker here. 195. Oh, I get off at the 242.
Oh yeah, you got a decent drive to still go.
Yeah, well, 47, and then maybe another, I don't know, 5 was out, something like that. 3. I don't know.
It's like a nice day. Looks like a really nice day.
Yeah, it's not bad. Right. All right. Telling you, I might, maybe if I get back early enough, I'll do a quick cut. You know, not a good one, but maybe I'll jump on the rider mower, chop it up. I need to change it into a mulcher though, so I don't bag and it shoots off to the side. Leaves when you wait too long, like right now, very deep. You end up with little nice high courses of dead grass, you know. And what I end up having to, when I jump to, sometimes what I do is I got the walk behind the self-propelled Honda, and then I'll run over those things and just mulch them up. Still, it's like twice the work. But at
Then you
least
have to go get a mulch blade for it. And
I want to put
Now, what
mulching blades on it and close the deck so that actually mulches the grass.
Now, what you do, Bill, is you actually cut your grass the day before you get a tropical logo through, and guarantee it will actually relocate to the next door neighbor's property and be their problem.
Yeah.
best part about watching a baby is you have an excuse to take a mid-morning nap.
But the rider mower, you know, obviously with the 38-inch deck, it's not a big mower rider. It's only a 38. Still, I get done a lot faster, you know, bring, instead of walking by that 20, 21 or whatever. And it's just but the Honda does a nicer job. It looks better. But I want to knock it down. It's getting too high. It's looking pretty embarrassing. That's just funny. My wife, she'll do the backyard part. She says, no, you got to do the front. People looking.
Our grass has stopped growing now.
Yep. I've got one more mow in me that I've got to get done.
Honestly, it don't really matter on your house, Bill, because you can kind of see your property pretty well from all sides. At least from what I could tell on camera. Because you got chain
Who's
link
that?
and all that. Your house, because you got chain link and all that.
Chain link in the back, yeah.
Yeah, you don't have like a big vinyl fence or nothing.
Justin's been spying on your house.
No, you
I've
know,
seen
over the
it on the
years,
phone camera.
there's been times I kind of wish I had a privacy fence, but then you're repairing it after a storm, you know, it's like, nah, chain link's fine.
Yep. Yeah, they're nice and everything, but yeah, a slight little bit of wind and that vinyl fence will be gone.
Well, the vinyl ones, they just fly apart. You know, they're like Legos.
Yeah, and they're expensive as shit too.
Yep.
We don't use
But fortunately, most of the time, you can put them back together. You know, it's kind of like a kind of game. You know, the slats will blow out of you know, and you just, you know, it's like, hey, let's put the fence back together today. All right. You know, make like a little party out of it.
Yeah, we
Like I
don't
said,
use for fencing. We either use wood or concrete panels.
but yeah, like I said, I'm my neighbor during Irma. he went out there with his guys from his lawn care business, and they tore his entire fence down within an hour or so, and then they put it in his garage, stacked it neatly. When storm came through, and 2 days later they put it back up.
Put it
Took them
back up.
another hour or two to put it back up.
Yeah, you get the posts that have the slot holes in it. You
Yeah.
just basically slightly bend each slot, just and put them in the holes.
Yeah, he just left the posts in the ground. That was it. That was all that was left.
Yep. Yep. Well, they're never going to blow away.
Nah.
I mean, the only reason you lose a post is if there's a solid fence nailed to it, and that just takes it with it, like a giant sail.
Or if a tornado hits it.
Well, even that, it would have to tear up the earth around it too. I mean, you set them down 3 feet in concrete. The vinyl. See, the vinyl posts aren't just vinyl posts. Inside of them, typically you put 4x4 treated wood, and the vinyl part goes over the top.
It just slides over it like a sleeve.
Yeah.
On my fence posts are concrete with slots down the side of them, and the fence panel just drops down into it.
Okay.
Because that's
Sounds
the
pretty
way.
solid.
That's the way the vinyl mailbox was that I replaced out front. It was just a vinyl sleeve, and you put a 4x4 in the ground, and then just slide it over,
Yep.
and then screw it into that.
Yep.
I did a good job on that thing. It didn't move during the storm. That thing's still solid as hell.
Well, I mean, again, and then the other problem is finding all the pieces. So you got to go on a little treasure hunt.
Yep.
They blow out and they just take off and they're gone.
You just have a bunch of pieces from other people's yards. It looks like a big mismatch. Fucking montage of events.
Well, you maybe sign all the pieces, Bill's, this is Bill's flat. Nice flat.
Like, why is your fence black, brown, and white? What the hell?
If found, return to 2320.
Yeah.
Offer $1 for every piece they bring back. Sorry, what?
Yeah, I'm lucky. I've actually got steel fence, so steel paneling on the fence. The posts go down nearly 4 foot. So, but it's seen some extremely strong winds in its time, and still was good as the day it went up. So, and with it being metal, you guarantee that it's not going to break up like any of this plastic crap and stuff like that.
Like I said, the vinyl ones we're talking about with the slats, they just blow apart. They don't break.
Yeah.
Typically they don't break. They can break, but they typically don't break. Now you got the other kind of vinyl fences, which are actually sections and vinyl sections, and they'll probably rip the shit, But they're a little fancier looking, a little nicer looking. But that's what's going to happen,
Yeah.
But I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say it's like one of those military drones. When it hits the ground, it just falls into pieces, and then they pick it back up, put it back in the case.
Yeah. I mean, I like the look of a wooden privacy fence, and you could buy a heavier one that would probably, unless you get up to a category 2, then you're probably going to lose it. But then there's the maintenance. You got to hit that thing every couple of years with some wood preservative, and
Yeah,
I don't know.
I just use a battery operated electric spray gun.
Now I could turn. I mean, it's only 4 feet high, so it's never going to be privacy. But
No, mine.
if you had a 6 foot high chain link, you could always get those colorful plastic slats that you weave into the. I've seen that you actually weave into the chain link itself. You ever see that?
Those things are expensive too. And one of my friends bought some recently, and oh god.
Yeah.
And on mine, I've got like a 1 foot tall concrete panel at the bottom, and then a 6 foot wide by 5 foot tall fence paneling. Wooden. The, fe-
The chain link is,
the wooden,
is just to keep animals out
yeah,
and the dogs in.
the wooden fence panels at that size, 6 foot by 5 foot, they're only about 25 quid each, something like that. Of course, I have got
If I didn't
about
get the
30,
pumps, I wouldn't even have that.
yeah, I've got about 30 of them around the garden, like, but you know. So if they all went, it'd be expensive.
A lot of traffic today. You know, for a Sunday morning, maybe people going back to their homes. Maybe they left the area.
Yeah.
That's always
Yeah.
funny. People saying, you stay in a place, you're gonna leave the area. It's like, where would I go? People are coming here. Down south, you know.
Mm.
Ain't cheap.
There
Getting
was
up
a
and
story
leaving
about this
either.
one woman. There was this one woman who drove east from Bradenton to Stewart, you know, to ride out the storm, and her car got hit by a tornado and parked out in front of this person's house and ended up in somebody's garage. So she left the flood and came to a tornado. So it didn't work out that way. She wasn't in the car, by the way, just to be clear. It was parked on the road. But it actually got thrown right through somebody's garage door.
Well, at least it tried to park itself.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was seeking shelter.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bit of a waste of time having a garage door that's rated to 150 mile an hour winds when a car drives through it.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
through it. Yeah.
A good one a couple of years back that I actually saw on the news. Person saying how their house has survived, etc., and they parked their car right underneath a tree, and the tree fell over, and the car ended up looking like a banana. It had just literally fallen straight, dead center of the vehicle, and but you'd think people like that would actually have enough common sense to know the first thing to go will be a tree. Don't park under a tree.
That's one thing they tell you not to do here.
Yeah.
That's one of the warnings they give you. Park your cars away from trees. Like I said, I prefer just not to have trees around the house because they can be expensive maintaining. Every few years, you got to spend money to get them trimmed up, and that costs hundreds of dollars. Plus,
Yeah,
they just make messes in your yard.
Unfortunately, when they get too big as well, it then becomes a wind grabber, and subsequently they're so easy to push over. And don't go putting palm trees in. They've got a very shallow root system, and we had a nice roadway going through the center part of our town that actually had palm trees on both sides. Looked really nice. And we got a mediocre storm come through, and every single palm tree fell into the road. And
how long were they there? How long were they there? Because the older ones, it's a bulb. You end up with a giant bulb underneath. It's the root system. And the older ones, those bulbs can be pretty damn big, pretty damn sturdy. Don't get me wrong. It's not like they don't blow over, because they do. but they don't blow over that easy. I mean, even the regular, oaks and whatever were blown over, depending on the root system just breaks and they blow
Yeah.
over anyway.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, in normal trees, the root system extends as far as the canopy extends.
Well, over here, the ground will get so saturated that the whole root system literally just, you'll see trees just
Right.
fall over.
Yeah, because we have
They
sandy
don't-
loam here.
Yeah.
Yeah, the idea is, you were talking about fence posts, and we still have to put them down. Like typically, like in Florida, Pennsylvania, for example, you wanted to put your fence posts deeper than your frost line, so they don't rise, so they stay through the winter. After winter's over, your fences and all up and down, different heights because of the frost line pushing it.
Yeah.
Right. You obviously don't have that problem here, but the problem here is you've got sandy loams. You need to get down deep into. Eventually, you get to like what look like regular clay dirt. Eventually, but you still end up having to put it down deep for different reasons. You know what I mean? But like if you're in the Carolinas, 2 feet's probably like North South Carolina, 2 feet's probably good enough. It all depends. But I don't know. I don't know why I thought of that. It just came to mind. I see Dre is in the chat. I just looked over for the first time. Hi, Dre.
Good morning, Bill.
How long you been here?
Oh, just a few seconds.
What's up? I haven't talked to you in a while.
Well, I've been around. I check in on you. You guys went pretty lengthy last night.
Yeah, I forget to turn it off after a while. My butt gets numb in the chair, and I just go to my brain.
Nothing wrong with that. When you guys got a good discussion, Good
Well,
morning,
say
everybody
that.
else in the chat. Well,
I don't want to exaggerate.
no, you guys had a pretty good discussion going on. I think Lon was on one last night for a while.
Lon's always on one.
Yeah, Lon's been coming every week. And he's always got something to contribute, even if it's just a dancing puppet.
Yeah, even if he's just taking the Mickey out of Art. Yeah.
Well, Art's been on one online with his little memes or whatever. So
Yeah, and his GoFundMe. Yeah.
Not that. I'm sorry. He put something on last night about the appeals court sided with Trump and returned all his money and vacated all his guilty convictions.
All right.
And then at the end of it, he said that you won't find this on mainstream media because they're trying to bury it. But I'm thinking in my head, I said, those are court documents. That's public information.
Yeah.
So all you gotta do is go check the appeals court in New York, state of New York, and find out. And
Is it true?
No,
did that
it's not
actually
true.
happen?
No.
Oh.
So that's what I'm saying. Why put stuff out like that when you're so easy to be fact checked?
Yeah. That's not saying it won't happen, but it hasn't happened yet.
Right.
Appeals court's going to do something, but
Right.
I didn't think. No, that would definitely hit the airwaves.
Of course it
Because
would.
even if you were pro Trump, of course, blah. If you're against Trump, you're going to be blah because the opposite reason. So it's definitely going to get out there.
Yeah, my whole thing is don't contribute to the rumor mill or just outright lie. That doesn't help. That doesn't help either side. Because
somebody posted it. Somebody posted it and he believed it. Is what happened.
Well, he wrote it in his own words, so that's like I say, it ain't like he reposted somebody else's stuff. He wrote this in his own words, and I'm like, okay, now I know where you sit at. My thing is, if you stoop to that level, what else are you willing to stoop to? That's all I can say on that.
I'm honestly just thinking that he got fooled by somebody else's post.
Very well could be.
He may have rewritten it, but to sound like a, but you got to research before you make announcements. Like
there you go. You took the words out of my mouth, Bill. Something of that magnitude, you want to make sure you're 100% accurate before you go out there and repost or post it yourself.
A $500 million decision is definitely going to make the airwaves.
Yeah. So Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I'm a little bit yeah, I ain't gonna say either way about it. It just because like I say, same thing with people I've been knowing for years since my childhood is that I see them post things. I'm just a little bit taken aback that this is the level that we're willing to go to. And I always tell people, people may not agree on policy, okay, but don't sit there and say who's qualified, who's not qualified. And that's what I said the other day about somebody saying that. And I said, well, let's look at historical facts of what our previous presidents have been, where they come from, and everything else. And then you determine who's qualified, not qualified. You know, you can disagree on policy all day long, but don't sit there and say someone's not qualified when that, you know, you're not dealing in reality. Can't hear you, Mark.
I didn't say anything. I coughed.
Oh, okay. Well, take a Vicks or something else. We thought you were talking. We ain't putting up with that stuff in here.
Yeah, I'm gonna make myself a lemon sip in a bit.
Yeah.
Honey and lemon and paracetamol.
But Don, that movie I watched last night, it was entertaining. I thought it was just be a popcorn flick because it was a Guy Ritchie directed movie. But at the end, but they said it was based on true story. That even made it more impressive.
Yeah, it's based on.
Yeah, based on true story. I mean, you know, nobody knows all the conversations or all the actual acts that took place, but the events that were put together, it made it even no matter how they pulled it off, that's quite a feat.
Yeah, Guy Ritchie is a hit or miss director for me. I liked his early stuff, and then he started getting some misses in there. But overall, I'll give him a chance. He makes a good when he does action. He does action well.
Yeah, because I say I like the one he did with Jason Statham a couple years ago. That movie when he goes in as a armored car driver to figure out the murder of his son. It's called Wrath of a Man. I think it's Man of Wrath, something like that. That was pretty good.
Wrath of Man. That's a great
Wrath
movie.
of Man. Yeah, that's a good flick. And also, I'm a big fan of the Gentleman. I like that. Yeah, that's I call clever filmmaking. It's not this action to be.
What movie did you watch last night? I'm sorry. What movie did you watch last night?
It's called The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare.
Okay.
And it's basically based on actual facts in World War II, around the brink of when the UK is about to fold up their tents. Everybody wants them to fold up their tents and basically surrender, but Churchill stands his ground. Now, I didn't like the makeup on the actor who played Churchill. I guess I'm spoiled by Gary Oldman's version. Back in that version there, I think Gary Oldman played a very good Churchill. Speak of this guy, I don't know. It just didn't. Maybe you guys from the UK can speak on that. You guys probably see more photographs of Churchill than I've ever seen in my life. But the guy who played Churchill's role in this movie just didn't sell me on it. But the rest of the cast, I like the fact of how they tied in Ian Fleming, and they said that this whole mission that occurred during this movie is what he based James Bond on and stuff. So I thought that was a nice touch and how he was incorporated because he actually did serve during World War II in the intelligence section branch. And, you know, and everybody's always wondering where did he get James Bond from? Who was the prototype? And they said that in the movie credits, it states that this Major was the prototype of the James Bond. Even though he didn't do no James Bond stuff in the movie, but I guess the way his charismatic attitude and everything else just kind of led to that James Bond character.
About something like that. I think I want to watch that. That sounds good.
Yeah, it's a good, nice little film, and it comes together very nice and stuff.
It looks like it's getting even nicer.
Yeah. I was about to say something to Paul. He don't dipped off as usual. I think Paul just starts his stream and he feel like it just runs automatically. He just leaves.
I think it's funny. He'll come back and he'll start asking questions about something we were discussing a half an hour ago.
Yeah.
Oh, that's just normal because his stream that he looks at on his computer is about 20 minutes behind everybody else's.
Oh. Now, there he is, Mr. Murray.
Yeah.
Did you ever get your Neo up and running? That's the last time I
Yes.
actually sat in. I know you
Yes,
were
I did.
almost at wit's end the other day. That's good to hear.
Yes, I did. And I posted online some of the video.
Oh, okay. Right.
You like it?
Yes and
Oh,
no.
do you like? Oh, okay.
It's really is a fantastic little bugger, but the thing of it is I kind of beat myself up all the time. Why the hell did I buy it? It isn't what I'm used to flying. And I don't see myself flying a ship with it or anything like that. And
That's not what it's for.
It's a selfie drone type of thing, and I'm not a selfie, because I don't get around that well. I can hardly get in and out of my truck when I go fly the drones.
Mhm.
And
Well,
I
I guess this is your second or third one you had now.
this is the third.
Yeah,
And the
'cause I
fourth
know
one-
you're
And the
basically your
fourth
attitude
one's
hasn't
on its
changed.
way.
The fourth is on his way. I
Seriously,
guess your
it
attitude
is.
hasn't changed from the first one. I remember you said the first one just kind of really irritated you because you felt you had no control at all on that first one you got.
Yeah, well, when I fly, Dre, I like to have controller in my hand,
Right, right.
And so then I went out and bought the RC2, which will control the Neo.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I flew it, I had a hard time getting it to link up, and it finally did. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know you're going through that the other day. I was like, I think it was somebody else that came in, might have been Bill or Don or whatever, said when they heard you were talking about linking something together, we just kind of changed channels. But we all remember the printer interdiction, and then before that, I forgot what else you were trying to put together, debacle, and I said, no, we're not going to get involved in this one.
David.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so anyway, that's the story. Yes, I did get it to fly. It is sitting over there next to my Autel Neo Nano Plus that I haven't flown that in about 6 or 8 months,
Mm.
Do you have any boat models? I mean, because you're into boats and like that, but do you have any models of boats, Paul?
No, I do not.
There you go. So get some nice boat models, and that thing's an indoor drone. So just fly. You can fly shit. With do a little
You could
close-ups
set
and
up the
fly
kitchen
over.
table.
I
Set
think
up the kitchen table and do an orbit around the gravy boat.
Well, I was thinking about Bill was talking about get your little kiddie pool, put it out in the yard, get the Neil to fly around it, and everybody think you're flying a ship.
I was thinking bathtub, but yeah, that's even better. Kiddie pool.
Yeah, get your little kiddie pool, so that way it fits in there. It's got enough water around it, and you make sure the angle's just right, so it only picks up the outer sky or whatever. It says, yeah, look at this nice tall Yankee skipper I got here, and
or if it can do tight enough circles, fly it around the toilet bowl, and he'd be flying a ship.
yeah.
Yeah, I can just imagine it. Paul would then have like 50 different boats in his garage.
Yeah.
They'd all be the same boat.
Yeah. But we all have to be imagining how calm the water is.
Yeah, and then he'd have to get a model of the bridge.
Yeah, like I say, you get a little nice model bridge in the background. Paint it. Well, usually those kiddie pools, the interior is kind of blue already, so maybe get a little darker blue, and it just fit right in. Or
Well,
be
you can
better
just
yet,
green.
better yet, you do it at night.
Hey, Dre, you do that and I'll watch your channel.
Yeah, no, I leave the boat stuff to you.
You
No,
got a lot of good ideas there. You should expand,
No,
expand.
no.
No, instead of a model of the bridge, you just green screen the background. That's all. You could do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I love the way Art green screens his background and just leaves it green.
Yeah,
Hey,
Art,
what?
yeah. Now, Art was on the channel. And he couldn't figure out how to get restreams. I don't know. His background was a green screen. No, that was it.
On all of his shorts that he does.
Yeah. Oh, and his shorts. Yeah, it's just a green screen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't even cover the whole background. Like you can see the edges. Yeah. Well, what are you gonna do? We'll figure that out someday.
So, Dre, did you get a Neo?
No. I'm not. I'm not interested. If I get a Neo, it won't be for me. I'm thinking about getting a Neo or the X1 Pro for my grandson.
Okay.
That'll be.
What
a
about your
Christmas gift.
granddaughter that does photography? She probably would use a Neo
Well-
pretty good. Is she still into that, or?
She a little bit. Like I say, I gave her. I say my old Rebel, Canon Rebel XT. I gave her that. I gave her 2 GoPros with gimbals, with the we call them the Holman gimbals, and I gave her a off-brand 4K pocket camera that I picked up about a year ago. I gave her that, so she has a little bit of accessories, different cameras to pick from and things. So my thing is, I give you a little bit to deal with, and I see where you go. And if you take up a little more interest, Grandpa will support. But Grandpa's not going to just buy everything.
Is she still doing it, or is she
Yeah,
kinda,
a little bit, but not much. She's taken as they call it now, a gap year. She graduated in June, so now she's taking a gap year. So I'm waiting to see what's going to happen next year. What she's going to do.
Well, you never know. She might get married in the gap year.
Yeah, like I said, that's why I'm waiting to see, Paul. See what happens. And I wish these other 2 in my house would get married.
Look at the baby.
And I said I could gain 2 extra workspaces.
Dre's been eyeballing one of their bedrooms as a new office.
Well, that was the original intent before I moved down. This is my original office I'm in now. When we first bought the house 30 years ago,
I
and then
wasted
as
it.
the
I
family
could've-
grew, I had to give up my office.
Could have gotten away from you. I could have
Well,
gotten away.
Yeah, it would be nice to be able to walk out of my bedroom and not have to go downstairs to my office, just stay upstairs. Just walk across the hallway to another room.
Not have to put on pants.
Well, Bill, now you're telling my secrets. Because I already got a mini fridge in my office at work, so I just bring that mini fridge back home. Buy a little cheap microwave, and I'll never come downstairs.
That could be you, Dre.
Well, that right there, I've been there, done that 5 times. I got 5 grandkids.
You got 5 grandkids. Oh my God.
And I say one, the oldest one just graduated. She's 18, and the youngest one is 5 or 6. Yeah. So I've already been there. And I've changed the diapers on just about every last one of them, I believe. And I've babysitted just like Don's doing. I've been there. I have definitely not just an hour or 2 babysit, all day babysit. When I work private construction, there's times where we don't have no work due to weather or whatever. And I was on grandpa duty all day for a couple of days straight.
Well, that's
Yep.
pretty much what Don is, isn't it? Because they're living with him.
Yeah, well, he's the ones that got dropped off. Yeah.
Joe's got that one.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I got two other daughters here at the house. So there's always potential for more. I don't think my sons are going to have any more kids, and I don't think my middle daughter, she's not going to have any more. She has
So
two
how
girls.
many kids and descendants do you have to have before you officially become a clan, the Crawford clan?
Well, I have the most out of all my older brother only had, before he passed away, only had one son. So and even with my first level cousins, I have all the kids. I mean, I have other cousins that only have maybe one child. I think another one had two, and that's it. I have all the kids. So my wife and I were kind of talking about that this morning, how all of the aunts and uncles on my side of the family kind of gravitate towards us because we have all these kids. You know, I only have 5, but compared to what they have, some of them have none. Some of them don't have no grandkids. I got 5 grandkids.
Well, do you have any advice for Justin? Because he can't wait until his daughter gets pregnant and gets married.
Oh, I will fuck you up. Keep it up. I'll hit an old man.
Justin, how old is your daughter?
She's only 16.
Oh, she's ready then.
I won't.
Yeah. Like they always say, the joy of grandparenting is that you get to play with them and all the kind of good things and hand them out money that you never hand out to your regular kids and then send them home. Because I looked at when my kids were growing up, my dad would hand them out money for birthdays and holidays, just when he shows up. And I'm like, who is this man? I used to ask for money to go to movies. He give me $5 and expect back $3 and change.
Yeah, but the flickers when you were a kid only cost a nickel.
No. I'm old, but I ain't that old. I couldn't even get no popcorn or soda. It was like
He said, "Here's $5." He said, "Here's $5. I want 3 back, but the movie's $2.50."
Oh no, you go over to
it.
Yeah, you walk
Figure it
over
out.
to Walmart, buy your popcorn and soda there, stick it down the sleeve of your shirt or your jacket, and sneak it in.
Well, see, Don, I am that old. There was no Walmarts when I was a young kid.
Oh,
Kmart was the big thing back then.
And before
stuff.
Kmart was Kresge.
Yep.
Walmart was around,
Yeah.
but they were. I mean, Walmart's been around since the '60s, but it would have been far and few in between back then.
Right. I guess it wasn't
Yeah.
around like in the '70s when I was a kid wanting to go to the movies or something like that.
They didn't really explode, I think, till like the mid '80s, late '80s.
Well, out here out
really
west,
big.
they just show up to around almost the '90s out west.
Justin, does your daughter have an official boyfriend now or what?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes. And Kelsey already. Kelsey's very strong-minded. Like one of the boys she was talking to at school, she found out he smoked weed, and she said, "I'm not talking to him no more. He's a loser." Yeah. I said, "Oh shit." I said, "Good for you."
Said, "Loser like my dad."
So Kelsey doesn't know about your history, right?
What?
Kelsey doesn't know about your history.
What about my history?
Well, you told me once before when you were young and her age, you had women all over the place.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, I was just an international playboy at 16.
That's what I thought.
Now the evidence is coming out.
Yeah.
Going to clubs every weekend and
then he met Sarah and got himself straightened out.
I still say Sarah lost a bet.
Sarah's the best thing to ever happen to Justin. Right, Justin?
Posted out leaving legacy was true.
No,
I was reading the chat.
No, he was commenting on my community post I put up. about this life in general, how depending where you're at, you think about your future. And I said, you know, people of my age, Paul's age, I know a lot of us think about what legacy are we leaving behind. And I said, if you're reading this post, you still got a chance to fix it. If you don't like what it is.
He's got ticklish feet.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine not having kids and just being like,
Tickle feet.
it just trips me out.
Well, I'm like my dad. The kids just came along with the marriage package. You know, I could have went either way. Definitely, my wife and I both were done at the third child, so I can pretty much tell you the exact date the last two were conceived on. But I don't regret any of them. They have all been a blessing, not just to me and my wife, but they've been a blessing to my parents, to my aunts and uncles who don't have children themselves. I mean, I say now I say grandchildren because I have two aunts that don't have any grandchildren. I don't think they ever will be getting grandchildren before they pass. So they're both one's 96, the other one just turned 90. And like I say, the one cousin he's 7-8 years older than me. He's 70. And then the other cousin is about 1.5 years, 2 years younger than me. So, like I said, they're at the age now, they're just confirmed bachelors.
My grandparents had 9 kids, and then there was 26 grandkids, and then they had like 7 or 8 great grandkids before they both passed away.
Yeah, my family resembles my mom's family, where there were 5 of them, and in the same makeup, there were 3 girls and 2 boys, and I have 3 girls and 2 boys. So I think that adds to the a little bit of the things with my aunts and uncles on my mom's side of the family, that it resembles their family of having those 5 kids. Well, East Coast, I look at it like this here: either your children are going to find someone similar to you or your wife, or they're going to find somebody completely opposite.
In other words, the bad boy complex.
Yeah, that I'd say, or in my daughter's case, they're gonna marry somebody who's an asshole, like their dad.
See, my theory is that kids try and rebel against their parents, so they act the opposite of their parents, and then opposites attract, so they end up with someone like their parents.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying.
That's true.
It could go either way. You know, it could go either way. It depends on, I guess, depends on the relationship between the children and the parent, and how they look at others that they feel that they attract to or feel comfortable with. So.
I don't know. Both my parents were tall and white, and I married a Filipino. So there you go. Opposite.
Well, I would say not race is a big thing, but I would say an attitude, attitude and things of that nature, personality, character, stuff like that. You know.
Yeah.
Those are the more dominant traits than it is actual race. You can, like I said, you can marry somebody from halfway around the world like you did, Bill, but they might be just like your mother.
No.
Just come in a different package.
No, they were.
Definitely not. Thank God.
My ex was a black facial.
Foxfire.
And her mother was a.
Never heard of you. Don't need to go to the concert. They have
I do. Drinking is the national pastime in the Seychelles, so
people end up worshiping as a god. And it's just a nonsense song. And he dresses up and big and plays a big outfit. Okay. Yeah, it's really weird.
Oh.
So, Bill, you completely given up on Sunday nights, or?
No, it's Saturday from now on.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So we going on Sunday nights anymore. So I don't have to, when I go on air, I don't have to get off.
You used to get off from me? That's nice of you. I
Yes.
appreciate it.
I
didn't
used to
even
get
realize
off for you, and I would tell everybody, hey, Uncle Bill's show's coming on. It would be at 7 p.m. West Coast time, 10 p.m. on the East Coast. And I'd tell folks to go over to your channel.
I didn't even realize that. Well, that's nice of you. No wonder I had 8 or 9 people come in. That's good.
In Lloyd's a bit like that. He keeps telling people to go and watch Drone Nation when he finishes, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I found it Sunday night that time, starting, and especially on the East Coast, it's getting late, and people got work the next day. And I mean, we did all right. People, pretty much the same people every week, 20-something
Yeah.
people.
Well, like I said, the shows are thinning out a little bit.
Yeah.
And like I say, Fridays is pretty empty now for most part. So I guess Art jumped on Fridays and everything to kind of fill a slot there. And then now you're on Saturday because nobody else is on Saturdays that I can think off the top of my head. And then then it's this Paul. Paul comes on every Sunday at 5 Pacific time. I think it's 8 o'clock on the East Coast. And then and when I do go on, I come on after him because my regular show is only once a month. But sometimes I'll go on and do an impromptu show, but I always keep the same time slot.
Yeah.
When you're saying Paul, you mean this Paul? I mean, Wedge and Big was coming on.
Paul Wedge and Big. Paul Wedge and Big. Yeah.
I mean, I jumped off Saturdays because of football, went to Fridays, and now he comes on Bill's show every Saturday.
Yeah, it's pretty funny because he didn't want to compete with football, but I don't know. I don't think it's the same thing, And besides, what you talk about college football at night? I don't know.
Football. Colorado's is a must-see TV. They almost pulled off another win last night. They lost to Kansas State, I think it was, last night. And that game was on even late for the West Coast. I know it had to be midnight East Coast time when that game ended.
Oh, I guess all right. Well, that's what he says. He thinks that it was affecting his stream. But I guess.
Well,
yeah, I don't.
All I know is that a lot of us in the drone community are not big sports fans. Because I know this week I was not watching a lot of shows because I don't really watch baseball at all. But I did watch 2 of the Dodger games this week and stuff because it's the playoffs. So I was watching that, and then like I say, Sundays I got the TV on over my shoulder, and I'm keeping an eye on a couple of games that interest me. Not every game interests me, but I'll keep it on.
The only 2 baseball teams that I would have been interested in watching are both out now, so that's the Tigers and the Phillies.
Yeah.
Well, I grew up a Yankee fan. We lived in the Bronx when I was a kid and like that. And I was back in the day when you didn't have internet. So, I mean, you really had to follow them to know what the heck was going on and look forward to that Bergen Record newspaper every Sunday and scour all the stats. And you'd know the lineup, everybody's average or pretty close to it every day. And, I really liked it back then. And then over the years, it's kind of faded a little. And then they got political. And I don't want my sports to be political. And I kind of lost when they moved the All-Star game that one year. It's like, what are you even getting involved with this shit? So I kind of backed off, and I haven't been back since. I mean, I still like to see, the Yankees won. Okay, that's good. I still like to see them win, but I'm not the rabid fan I used to be. And even football, I stopped watching them for a little while with the whole kneeling thing and the getting involved in politics. I believe everybody has the right to express themselves and like that, but that's not why I tuned in. I tuned in to watch a football game. So I don't know, whatever. But I'm back again. I'm watching the Giants get the shit beat out of them every other week. So,
Yeah. Well, like I said, I've never been considered myself a fan because I played for so long that, I look at sports as just appreciation of the game, of the sport itself, appreciation of the players who accomplish what they do. Like I say, for me, I played, high school, college ball. When I went in the military, I played ball in the military and everything. And I tell a lot of people I was a better baseball player than I ever was a football player. And but I say I can't stand to watch it. Baseball is still too slow for me to watch. Like I say, when I'm playing it, you're already amped up. You're anticipating everything that goes on when you're playing baseball. But when you're just practicing or watching, you don't get that same feeling of anticipation of waiting that ball to come off the bat. Which way?
Although
which way
you, although
need to
you know
break
what,
and
when you
everything.
go to the game itself, you get a little bit of that, you know, because you got the roar of the crowd and everything that's going on, and even though it may not seem different, but it is when you're actually there. But going to Yankee Stadium when there's a when there's 50,000 people in the stands, it gets you.
Yeah, I get that, and that's why I learned about when I got into college and I played. You know, I played at Utah State. That's when you start learning how the game is not even progressing at a normal pace. What we see on TV is almost an edited version of what you see when you're there in person. Because when the game is televised and you're there in person, the amount of TV timeouts that occur. And then you wonder, you know, what's going on? We're getting this to plays at the plays at the plays most of the time. And then and when somebody gets hurt, they cut the commercial. But there's actually TV timeouts during the regular course of a drive. You know, they'll just also the ref will say, "Up, blow the whistle, timeout," and it'd be like, "Okay, TV timeout." And you're like, "What's going on?" And that's why they have so much activities at the games, as far as the organ player at the baseball games, or cheerleaders, or whatever else that goes on at football games and stuff, to help keep the crowd going, to keep the enthusiasm going. Because I say, when it's a televised game, it is scripted, big time.
Well, I see Bill has arrived.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to call it. It's afternoon here on the East Coast.
Yeah.
Don, you have a good day with your babies. Dre, take care. Justin, we'll see you a little later. Trevor, Mark, bye for now, everybody.